So no, it was great. As I say, the dressing rooms around my time at Raith were great. I think when I first come into Rovers, I think you had the likes of Alan Walker was there, Dougie Hill, Ryan Graham, Beardy, so that was a good dressing room. That was a really good dressing room. It was I had a good mix, and I think when you're asking about touching on who sort of runs the dressing room up there, you always find that you've got somebody who thinks you do. So in that case, probably Alan Walker, but probably Dougie Hill probably ran it as much, because Dougie was only part time at the time. So I also probably ran it sometimes, but when Dougie was in part time, it was probably Big Dougie, because not many folk would take Dougie on. Yeah, I think I'll always remember that the change room we had when we won the Ramsden's Cup. I think that kind of always sticks in your mind, that we had a sort of great team spirit that year with some of the boys. I think we put Callum Elliott in, Gordon Smith, Spencer was back. So we had a good mix. Foxy was there just to be an old man and kind of try and put everyone in their place. So it's been good. I'd like to think myself probably had a wee bit of influence in the dressing room at times. I think for me, in terms of course, you want to be doing the business on the park, but I'd like to think I played my part off the park. I was always keen to get nights out and having to go with the rest of the boys. So I was maybe a bit of the party convener, which was needed at times. But as I say, we always had a good mix of boys in the dressing room. It was good times. As I say, the dressing room's a great place, and it's one of the things I do miss. With part time, it's a wee bit different. You're in for your couple of hours during the week on we're a Monday, Wednesday at Arbroath, so you don't properly get that proper engagement like you do when you're full time. You're in for 5-6 hours a day, whatever it is. So there's plenty of spare time in your full time. So it gives you that wee bit more chance to mess about and get up to stuff you probably shouldn't. Yeah.
In terms of the high point, we're always going to look towards the Ramsden's Cup final. Only one of two captains to lift a trophy for a national competition. Does the enormity of that achievement still sit with you? Has it hit in, or do you think that was something that will come in later years, kind of post-career, that you'll realise how big that was?
No, I think I've spoken about that previously in terms to me, Davey, I know we've talked many times over the year, and it's never something that I've never sort of spread my feathers or spread the wings and say, oh, look at me, I've lifted the cup for Raith, sort of thing. That's just kind of not the type of person I am. But I think as years go on, and probably when I've retired and stuff, that the enormity of still only being one or two captains to do that is great. And don't get me wrong, it was an excellent personal achievement for the club, for the fans, for my family, for everything. It was excellent. So I mean, probably further down the line when you probably look back on your career, and I think we've touched on that before, that as much as it's the Ramsden's Cup, or that cup's not the most glamorous cup in the world, but at the end of the day, it's football. There's a lot of levels. I'm never going to play in a Champions League final, FA Cup, even a Scottish Cup final, that sort of thing. So there is that. It could be Joe Bloggs in the park playing with Sunday League in a cup final. It's still a massive thing to them. So that kind of worked through the levels, and at the time, and as a club at Raith Rovers, to win that, and playing Rangers at the time, which we did, was probably added a bit of magnitude to it. Of course, I'm not disrespecting the other teams, but if it was lower league teams, it would have probably not been as looked on as great an achievement. But it was a Rangers team. It was a good Rangers team who were firing through the leagues, promotion every year. So when you look back at that, and you touch on it quickly there, and we talk about it, it was a massive achievement for the club and myself.
Coming on at your current team, Arbroath, you're part of what must be one of the most successful squads in their history. What's the particular ingredient that's taken you so far?
It was quite early on when I joined the squad, and you seen the nucleus of the team and the squad that the gaffer was building at the time, and the start we made to the league, and then I started to think we've got a wee chance here. And I think a lot of credit goes to the gaffer. I think everyone knows about the gaffer, and what a great funny character he is. But again, he's a proper football man. He lives and breathes football, and he has done for, I don't know, probably 50 years, 40, 50 years anyway. And I think, I think sometimes he doesn't get the credit he deserves. I think he's plenty of championships and under his belt, and I know that's maybe at a lower league, but I think him and his backroom staff did a great job of just keeping a squad together and building on it, adding 1 and 2 players each season, and I think that's all we've done since I kind of joined. With even last year we added a couple more to strengthen the squad, and again he's a great manager in terms of working with him on a 1-to-1 basis, and he's a spade. There's no there's no hidden agendas, there's no secrets, and that can go a long way for players, and everyone wants to play for him as well. So there's plenty in there that and I've just touched on a few things there that he's been great at.
I mean, I think I agree 100% on what you're saying there in terms of your management squad, is that the kind of jovial side of their nature is often overplayed. They're clearly very astute, knowledgeable football people who know how to not only win games but win leagues. What you have done is you've taken that a step further, and we would certainly consider you as an established championship team, something that we've got to try and kind of strive to do this year. What's the biggest challenge for Raith Rovers as we look to kind of cement our place in the championship?
Oh, I mean, we only had one season in the championship there, so we're under no illusion that this season is still going to be difficult. Although we finished 5th and we're pushing for playoffs last season, but we could easily have went in 2 or 3 running games, and you can easily find yourself down at the end of the table. So for me, it's always been similar. Raith coming up, they've got John and Smudger and a great backroom staff. I've known John for now probably the best part of 20 years. And John was he's a huge influence in my career, my life, probably, for such a young age at 14, 15, as my youth coach at heart. So, I've known John for a long time. So, having John and smudging that on board, it'll be great for them. John's been in that league before. I think, if you're, pick one thing out, it's just, you need to try and get a bit of consistency. Winning games here, there, and losing 3 or 4 in the bounce and winning and drawing, it's hard, and it's hard on the players' confidence. It's hard to get a run of games that you play well and win. So I think that's what, again, from an Arbroath point of view, and I'm sure Raith won't be much different. We are looking just to keep winning games consistently and play well. And again, Arbroath, there's no. We're not going getting out targets of this, that, and the other, but we are part-time still, us and Allo, and I know Raith do a bit of hybrid stuff. So John and the club, they'll have their own sort of objectives for the season. That's not for me to say what they are, but I know as in Arbroath, it's all about staying in the league, which will be difficult. There is good teams in the league, and you've got Hearts there now who will be red hot favourites to run away with it, which they probably should, you would imagine. You got your Dundees, Inverness, who did well last season, and they'll be looking to build on there. So it's a competitive league. It's a tough league. I was in it enough. I don't know if it was 5 or 6 seasons with Raith at the time when I was there, and it's a tough league. There was, like I say, touching on the consistency. We had success. I think we finished 4th one year in the playoffs. We played Hibs, and we're in the league with Hibs, Rangers, Hearts at times, which was great. But I had other times where we were fighting relegation, or we were finishing 7th and 8th. And I know a lot of that for me was just down to not finding consistency enough.
Right. Jason, thanks for your time. We wish yourself and Arbroath good luck, and probably more important just now, good health for the season ahead. So we'll chat to you soon.
Great. Thanks, David.